What it do? It's your boy Flash Finger Flame with BeatBoys TV and my boy.
FDE Ram, you already know what it is.
Yes, sir. Today we got a special guest. We got Jeff Blacktracks from Dynamic Producer, boy.
All right, all right, all right. Everybody, make some noise for my boy Jeff
Good
Blacktracks.
evening. Good evening.
How you doing,
Y'all
Mr.
been in
Blacktracks?
like Darth Vader. You know how it is. I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, Jeff, man, why don't you tell the world who is Jeff Blacktracks?
Woo, man. How much time we got? How long we gonna be on here tonight? Cause you trying to get me to do like an autobiography, man. You know, you didn't tell me all that. You know, we're supposed to bring out the books and the cliff notes. You know, you gotta put the little side note up with the e link so you can help folks out with that one. But anyway. No, man. I'm a producer, songwriter, DJ, event coordinator, host, mentor, senior advisor, formerly of Dynamic Producer. We can get into that a little bit later, you know, because Dynamic Producer, after the pandemic, changed, you know, some things. You know, we still got things going on, but Dynamic Producer and the way that it was working is a little different now. But I'm originally from Cincinnati, and I'm actually back here right now for a while. You know, I did a lot of work in Atlanta over the last 15 years. You know, that's where I relocated from here because I was part of, you know, producer organizations here. You know, I have been doing stuff with the group X Clan. You know, I'm a part of that, you know, the Black Watch movement. Me and Brother Jay got tracks that we've done together. I've been producing and DJing, breakdancing. You know what I'm saying? In this industry, I've learned there's a trick. It's like martial arts. In martial arts, you know, if they don't tell you what they teaching you is hard, you don't know it's hard. So I didn't have to learn everything. I didn't know I didn't need to learn how to be a DJ, a producer, an arranger, the artist, the mixologist. I just learned it all. And by the time I figured it out, you know, it was a whole different game going on. So I was up here working with a beat battle organization here in Cincinnati called the Beat Lounge, which is, you know, run by my friend Contracts, and he still got things going on up here. And I met a lot of dope producers here in Cincinnati. And as I was working up here, there was an opportunity to intern with Dynamic Producer. And I kind of sent them my information about what I was doing up here. And they liked the groove. They liked my intenseness. And they were just like, well, what would it take for you to move down here? They threw out some figures. And I made the relocation to go from intern with them to going on and beyond with staff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So if y'all don't know about Dynamic Producer, man, it's one of the biggest beat battle events out there in Atlanta, Georgia, man. My boy Jeff Blacktracks had a lot of really big, dope producers that were battling at that event. So, Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the hottest producers that you had battling out up there in Atlanta, man, and Dynamic Producer?
So here's where it gets interesting. Dynamic Producer is the organization, but it sponsored the beat battle. The beat battle was called Beat Royale.
Right.
Royale was a subsidiary of Dynamic Producer, and here's the catch. With Dynamic Producer, we were doing conferences in New York, Atlanta, and LA. So during the conferences, we would have showcases, songwriter competitions, places where you can meet up with licensing for TV and film and play your music for the different record labels or TV or different things like that. And then, you know, we would always top it off with a beat battle. And that beat battle we used to call Beat Battle King.
Right.
And we decided to branch Beat Battle King off into Beat Royale and just wanted to bring to the beat battle something a little different than just let's throw some beats and rock. We decided to make a mini conference. Every time we did it, we added features that you can only see at a conference. We would bring in like a major producer, maybe to do a showcase. We would bring in somebody from the industry to talk about, you know, the different things in the game. And then, you know, maybe have a showcase of somebody performing, and then we would do the battle. So I could say that we've done battles in many cities. I would say One of my favorites is a dude from Hawaii by the name of Thirst for Worse. Eli. Eli's a monster. Eli flipped this thing with Rihanna. That was ridiculous. He took just crazy. Then in Atlanta, we got this dude is one of my brothers, really dope guy, young guy by the name of Question. He's a blind producer, monster.
What?
Got some guys up here. One of my favorite battles that we've ever done was because I got such a good relationship with the producers up here in Cincinnati, and I got a good relationship with the producers in Atlanta. I asked Atlanta and Cincinnati to battle each other and do a Cincinnati versus Atlanta.
Woo!
And that was probably the coldest battles ever. We brought guys from up here in Cincinnati like Jay Skills, Nat Town, Jilla Boy, Nico Beats, my boy No Idea. I'm trying, my boy Young Li. We brought, oh my God, we had so many people on that stage. Then down in Atlanta, you had my sister Higgy Beats. You had my boy Hannibal the Beat Animal. You had oh gosh, man, I'm trying not to miss all the producers that was in there, but it was a long list, man. But we had my brother who passed away a long time ago, Big Snipe, man. Rest in peace to my brother, rest in power. But we've had some dope producers, songwriters, and artists on there, build their relationships, get connections, get TV and film placements. I've seen some find their future husbands and future wives. I done seen people get married. I done seen so much on that stage, man, that it made it really emotional to me because this has been I don't have any friends in my life that aren't in the music business in some way, shape, form, or fashion. I don't care if they're producers. I don't care if they're videographers, DJs, promoters. Everybody that I'm associated with is doing music related something or something in the entertainment industry. And it's not because I try to do it that way. It's just that's where all my friends are at. That's just the way it works.
But there ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with that, though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Birds of a feather, man.
but the thing about it, the reason I'm saying it is because I've been at this point now where there's a couple of people, there's a lot of battle organizations. Like when I moved to Atlanta, I was part of Dynamic Producer, like I said, which is an organization that's designed to help producers, songwriters, and artists on their business and branding. That's their main goal. We was to teach people how to walk, talk, how to go into a room, what to do. Because, people are always working on their beats, working on songs. But once you get it done, a lot of times they don't know where to take it and how to make that next move. And that was our goal, was to help you understand how do you take yourself from just being a guy or a girl that makes some tracks to being a conversation in the room. How do you make it when people see you that they already looking for you? And that was the main goal with them. And I would say, imagine this. There was like almost 6 organizations doing producer events in Atlanta at the same time. You had the producer swap meet being ran by my boys, Fort Knox and Big Ty. You had the Mighty Beatdown being ran by my boy Drez the Beatnik, who passed away 2 weeks ago. Rest in power to my brother. The Atlanta Beat Battle was ran by Jazz. You had our Standard. It was ran by my boy Sis and my boy Jay Hatch. Also, rest in power to brother Jay Hatch.
Shout out to the fellas in the chat, man. Shout out to the fellas, Jason. I'm sorry to cut you off, Jeff. I'm sorry to cut you off. Shout out to the fellas in the chat, man. Shout out Jason. Shout out C. Man, we see y'all in the chat. I'm sorry, Jeff.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Shout out to people in the chat. Yes, indeed. Then you had the Atlanta Beat Auction where people were auctioning off their beats. Can you imagine that? Run, dude, get it. And I was ran.
So
right, Jeff. Speaking of auctioning off beats, man, I got my homeboy who is running this thing called Beat Trader. I don't know if you know what it is, but beattrader.com, man, it's a place where producers can go and create a profile. They do live YouTube events every day to where they play the producers' beats and they let you auction out to Beat Trader. And speaking also about beat battles and stuff, man. We got my homeboy Sweet, man. He runs Who Want That Smoke beat battle, man. And Flip Banger, man.
That's my boy Flip.
Yeah, he shows mad love to the BeatBoys TV family. He shows mad love to all the producers out there. So we got a big show next week with him. You already know.
It's funny, man. The majority of the promoters that do battles, we all kind of know each other. Like my boys like Sandman and all them guys that do the Gauntlet beat battle, man. I love they stuff, man. Them brothers is incredible.
All right, y'all. Also, we have my brother from Indianapolis on 34th and Moller. Y'all seen him on the promo video. He's supposed to be a guest on her last week. He was having difficulties. My man's Tony Cleveland. Everybody,
here we go. Here we go.
How you doing? Yes, sir. All right, Tony. We was actually just getting to know Jeff. So Jeff, you can finish. I'm sorry about that.
Hey, look, we got all the time. I think I'm stopping at a stopping point. So go ahead and let your brother go ahead and introduce himself, because I know y'all got other questions to ask.
All right, so Tone, let the people know, who is Tony Cleveland.
Like you said, man, a Neptown native, 34th Street representative, artist, just all around good brother, man, just trying to make it, dude,
Heard. I feel it. So let us know how Tony likes to figure out who he gets his beats from, how do you go about finding your beat process? What do you do when you're looking for your producer? What do you do when you're looking for your features?
Well, I got a producer that I work real close with. Shout out to Merc, Juice Squad. And I tend to get other beats elsewhere, but we kind of got like a good mesh, you feel me? Like understand me, as far as my voice, as far as the cadence and just he caters to me a lot, bro. So I really kind of keep it in home, you feel me, with Merc and his brother James. They got real good production, you feel me? They cater to my sound.
Right. So and that's why I feel like a lot of people should do. A lot of artists and producers should do. I feel like they should find that producer and that artist connection and kind of lock in and try to like make something work that way. I feel like that's like that's one of my main sources of figuring out how I'm gonna sell beats is locking in.
Don't get me wrong. I do deal with other producers around the way, but like I said, it's just like that's a home base for me. So you know what I mean. And like I said, he been doing music for like so long. He just kind of like understand me, and he kind of it's a comfort thing really. And he like guide me through though. You feel me? Like he really get like we like twins or something there. You feel me? And it just worked for me.
Okay. And Jeff, when you were really producer for artists and stuff, how did artists like find you? Like, what was your best way of getting people to figure out who you were?
So you're gonna make me show my age a little bit, but I'm gonna break some things down, man. Like when it came to getting tracks to different people, we were from the old school. Like I feel I'm from the school of old school rules and new school tools. I kind of hate that we got access to emails. I like to see mugs go ahead and make their tracks and roll up to a record label, sit in the record people office and look for somebody to walk through and just bum rush them. Like, yo, listen to my demo. You know what I'm saying? We go get like Michael Bivins. I'm gonna sing to you on the spot. You ready? Let's go. I got some beats right here. Let me pull out the headphones. I'm gonna throw it on your head right now and let you hear the heat. That's how we used to have to do it, though. We used to have to go to a lot of the places with the CDs, and then, technology changed things where you can start, doing a lot of stuff. But I would say there's multiple ways to get your music. And that's one of the things we were teaching with Dynamic Producer. And in this stuff that I was doing personally. So that's why I wound up getting the job. A lot of it, and I don't know, do you guys go to any of the music conferences, like A3C, the ASCAP Expos,
I don't, but I do want to go to NAMM next year.
So NAMM, the thing about NAMM is it's mainly based off the equipment, But I'm talking about the places where you're going to meet, the licensing people, where you're going to meet the artists, where you're going to meet the record labels, and you build those relationships. Because too many people have gotten comfortable sitting behind these computers and sending off emails. Man, you got to go and shake somebody's hands. You got to go out there and kiss babies. You got to go out there and get that hug in and build that relationship. Because what it is you'll come to find out, you're always hearing people saying that nobody wants to rock with me. This business is all about relationships. And one of the things is, it's not that a lot of times people don't rock with you, is they won't rock with you right now. They're going to be watching you. They're going to be wanting.
They don't know you. Because they don't know you.
So let me say I see you in LA and you at an event. You like, hey, I got tracks and stuff like this. Like, oh yeah, that's well and good, nice man. You can have my card, whatever, and go on about your business.
Right.
But then you might see that person out of New York, and then they be like, oh, okay, this person's serious. You know what I mean? They're starting to see you out in the streets, and you want it to be to the point that when they see you, they hear your name.
Right.
When they walk in the room, they supposed to be like, whoa. I heard random doing some stuff. Oh, wait, I heard about you when we was out in LA, but I didn't know when got to New York. You've been causing some chaos. I didn't see you on YouTube. I didn't see your IG. I didn't see your TikToks. That's the way to get people now. But the main thing is, I'm quite sure you as producers, do you all have your own artists that you're working with right now?
I do. Yeah. I have a couple, and I know that Flash has a couple as well.
That's actually the secret right there, is create your own sound. If you look at Dr. Dre, as big as he is, the majority of that first set of catalogs was all in-house.
Yeah, and I know Tony said that he has established his personal bond with his producer, and that's what I was saying. I think that's almost probably the best way to go. I think
it's unstoppable. Now, the problem with this, when you build that bond with an artist, is to not let the label come in and mess that relationship up. Because what happens is that you build them a sound that's undeniable. Then all of a sudden you get signed to that record label. Then all of a sudden they're gonna try and hook them up with all these other producers, and they're gonna forget what made that sound. And they're gonna lose what made them if they don't ride that all the way out to the wheels fall off.
Right.
That's just keeping it 100.
Right. So Jeff, why don't you tell us a little bit about some of those events, the type of events that you're talking about, the ones that we can go and shake hands with the labels, the licensing and publishing companies. What are some of the names of those events that me and Ray can look into, so that way when we're ready, we can go ahead and get BeatBoys TV all up in there, man?
Well, I know Atlanta has always had A3C, but I think some of it has changed. What I can do is kind of look at a list of them, because there's a lot has changed. There's some actually cool things you can get some, which is funny. I didn't even realize they were doing that. Are you familiar with the thing called DreamCon?
No.
I think I heard
DreamCon is almost like Comic-Con. And I found out they doing beat battles and networking things out of DreamCon. I know a lot of producers just came back from that. There's a lot of those things like that, like BlizzCon, the game organizations. Like, are y'all familiar with the Game Developers Network?
No.
I'm giving y'all types of game tonight.
Yeah, you putting us on something new, Jeff. You putting us on.
So y'all need to go on the Game Developers Network, sign up for that. In every city, there's a thing called the Game Developers Meeting that they do once a month, where you can meet the developers that are behind video games.
Ooh.
Every city. And then once a year, they do their big event, BlizzCon, Comic-Con, DragonCon, all those things but you can also meet the people that are behind the games, behind movies. You want to go to stuff, like Sundance Film Festival. You want to go to what's that thing out there? There's a thing out there, South by Southwest, which is out in Texas. You want to go out up in Canada, North by Northeast. These are places that, like I said, you'll be able to meet the different record labels, the music supervisors. ASCAP, before the pandemic, was doing this thing called the ASCAP Expo. You don't have to be a member of ASCAP to go, and you'll be able to go in there, shake hands, kiss babies, build relationships. There's a lot of those that are out there that you want to, get up close and personal, because those are the real keys to meeting a lot of people and getting yourself out there.
Yeah, them definitely some jams. I never knew. I knew about some of the ASCAP events because we be having the the ads and stuff all over Facebook. You know what I mean? So we get the ads all over Facebook all the time. And then we also let me get these boys back in here. And then I didn't know about half of the stuff you were talking about. So that's all gems to me. Definitely got to look into it. Definitely got to look into it. Cause lately, I'll tell Flash all the time, like, yeah, bro, we got to definitely get out and try to network, because that's what we're all about. We're all about networking. Like once somebody hear your name, they know your name. You know what I mean? They'll know you. So
now, I will say,
go ahead.
There are a lot of good networking things too. As producers, there are also really good networking things outside of just those things. There's some things that are going on that I'll say there's two really cold events in Atlanta that I would tell you to definitely build a relationship with. One of them is this organization called Controllerize, ran by my boy Steel and Drums. They got a channel, and these guys, they have it where the producers are the DJs, and you do sets that are laid back where you're playing your music or playing music that gives you, a certain type of a vibe. You know what I mean? That'll keep people, put people in a mood. And I would say, coming from different cities, they're always looking for producers to come and showcase their music and just network and build the relationships. And there's always artists and record labels and people coming through just the vibe that you would not be surprised to just run up on you. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to be in there and see a guy like Black Metaphor walk through, or see somebody like a Brian Michael Cox walk through, give you up some dap and talk about, oh, yo, those tracks is hot, because that's the ecosystem. It's just that type of environment. Another one is there's a freestyle organization. I'm trying to remember it right off the top of my head. I'm looking at it as I'm trying to bring it up for you guys, but these guys, they do conferences and conventions, but they're also looking for producers to have beats for these guys. They do a thing once a month. Give me 1 second, and I'm gonna make sure I give that to you guys, because I think that would be another really, really dope one that goes on in Atlanta, that you ought to be a part of. But do you have any other questions? While I'm looking on this for you.
Actually, we're gonna go ahead and do a beat review.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and do a beat review. We're gonna go ahead and see what they done sent to us this week. I actually got a song from one of the guys from our NPC group. Name.
Are you in the NPC group on Facebook?
Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah, we got the NPC group going on Facebook. Mix and master group. His name's Stu. He be sending like the more like older boom bap gritty type beats. He kind of think outside the box. I think so when it comes to the beats.
Nice.
So every week I be looking forward to him sending something in. All right, y'all. For my boy Stu. Don't find it. something kind of nasty by my boy, Stu. What y'all feel? How y'all feel about it, fellas? How y'all feel about it? How y'all feel about it?
That's what's up. I like that.
You like that, Jeff? You like that, Jeff?
Oh,
Fucking
yeah.
with it. It's fucking with it. Flash, how you feel about it, Flash?
Definitely the beat was definitely dope. I definitely like the drums that he had going on in there. I feel like he could have put a little bit more of maybe like a hook variation, a switch up, a change up. Other than that, though, the beat was good. The mix was clean, and you already know what it is,
Tony,
man.
how you feel about it, Tony? How you feel about it? Tony, we can't hear.
Yeah, I think it was cool. I like the beat.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother. We can hear you. All right. The chat saying they saying Jeff, you spending a lot of knowledge. They say you spending a lot of knowledge. They like it in the chat. They say they love what you talk about, sir.
I found that other information I was talking about.
Okay,
the other thing is called the Soul Food Cipher. They got a website as well as Controllerize. Both of those, Controllerize and Soul Food Cipher, both have websites where you can connect with them. The Soul Food Cipher is ran by my boy Joe Stew and this dude by the name of Michael Brown. And that's the thing I was telling you, where they do ciphers, workshops, and performances, and just another thing, for producers, songwriters, and artists to kind of build those relationships. It's so many things out there, man, that I think that a lot of us need to go ahead and be a part of, and get off these computers, man. Go out here and hop on a Amtrak or a quick red eye and go
Greyhound.
Yeah, go Greyhound or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let's just go build some relationships and have some fun.
Yep, and you say you're in Cincinnati, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm right in Indiana, man.
Oh, look, wait a minute. So I got some people in Indiana, because y'all used to have a cold beat battle over there, and I'm associated. They used to always do it over there at that guitar center that you guys got there. If you're in Indianapolis.
Oh no, I'm in South Bend. I'm in South Bend where Notre Dame is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Because one of my other guys I used to advise, his name was DJ Edge, is in Indianapolis.
Okay. And me and my wife, we want to do like a producer like vlog where I go see all my producer friends and stuff. I might have to stop and see you on my way to Pennsylvania or something.
Ain't nothing but a thing, man. Ain't nothing but a thing.
For sure.
Right. I just say this: I don't drink, but I will drink the heck out of some Starbucks coffee.
Oh, that's cool. That's my wife's favorite drink. She loves Starbucks.
I'm Frappuccino all day long, man.
Yes, sir. So, Jeff, man, I have another question for you, man. So, I seen you on this major interview, the Indie Unplugged, man. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the interview with Indie Unplugged, man? Let us know about what they got popping off. You already know what it is.
See, this goes back to networking. So, Indie Unplugged is my boy Brian Vaughn. Now, let me show you how dope this is. I met Brian Vaughn, must have been about 6-7 years ago, out in LA, because I was good friends with his boy, Ricardo, who used to come out to my beat battles. And we all went to the ASCAP Expo together. You see how this is going?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm showing you how this game works.
Right.
So I was out there at the ASCAP Expo. Ricardo said, "Hey, let me introduce you to my boy Brian." And that's what me and him was talking about in the interview. And we was out in LA, and we hung the whole weekend after just meeting one day, because I knew his boy and his boy trusted me. And we all hung like the daggone, we call it the Four Musketeers out there. Just had a good time. And we just did that, but networking. So he had been working on things and doing interviews. And he asked me to, do one of his first interviews for We Create TV. And they are a very powerful organization in Atlanta. I mean, that's, but it's not just for Atlanta. It's for producers, songwriters, and artists all over that want to tell their story. And he gets very up close and personal, very laid back. So if you've seen the video, he's very chill. But he also has a channel where he's also doing current events or anything that might be going on, like, you know, how everybody's going book wild over this whole AI thing. You know, they might have a discussion about that or different things on those kind of levels. But that's one of the unique things about that part of networking. And matter of fact, let me just show you another little tidbit about LA that all comes back from Atlanta. So a year before then, I was at A3C. And I was part of the, you know, with Dynamic Producer, we were doing this media room and we were interviewing a lot of different people, you know, in that media room. So we would have, like, let's say Pharoah Monch might come in, or Wu-Tang may come in, or, you know, anybody from hip hop or whatever. We would just kind of interview them. And we were allowing other people to come in that had organizations like yourself to interview. So there was a lady in there, and she wanted to talk to Pharoah Monch and them, and he was getting ready to leave, and I ran up to him and said, "Can you just do this one last interview?" So because she was getting ready to leave, and he did the interview for her. I forgot all about her, hadn't seen her, nothing. I was with Brian and them. We were out in LA, and that lady said, "Jeff." I said, "Yeah, how you doing?" I said, "You don't remember me, do you?" I said, "No, not exactly." She's like, "Remember we doing the video?" I was like, "Oh, that's what's up. What's up? How you doing?" You know, gave her a big old hug or whatever. And she said, "I got this event we doing over here. It was a crazy $2,000 plate dinner event." I was like, "What?" She was like, "'Cause you took care of me, I got you on the list. Just tell them your name, and your name on my list." Because I played forward networking. A whole year later, I hadn't even seen this person, but they remembered because I was playing it forward. Wasn't about how much am I getting out of this? Am I getting anything out of this? Let's just play it forward and keep that network going. And that's the one thing about this game. Too many people so busy worried about their pockets, they're not worried about playing it forward. Playing it forward is going to take care of you in ways that you will never imagine. If you a good person, got a good heart, and you look up to the Most High and you follow behind that energy, then ain't nothing gonna stop you in this game.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you. I mean, we got some more tracks to review, y'all. Y'all ready to review some more tracks? Jeff, you want to hear some music, man?
Hey, man, look, y'all invited me in here. I'm like, man, I'm rolling with you guys, man. Let's do it.
All right. So I got a track from a young artist out of South Bend, Indiana. His name is T-Lock. He sent the submission in, so we can go ahead and find submission in here. So switch over. There we go. Y'all. Oh, look like we got something from Flame Stick Productions first. Let's go with them first. Let's go with my boy Jay Song. Hey, it popped up first. I go first come, first serve. My boy Jay Song said something there, man. Let's see what he got. It's called Notice. Let's go. Let's go. See the connection.
Check it. 1, 2. See before my life, everything I did in my life, I'm trying to make a fight from doing it right, moving is right, speed of light is shit that's coming to me like the currency flowing. My mind is overglowing with certain situations that I be facing. This devastation ain't stopping Jason. Temptation to get it more and have better. Now I seen through the ladder and I seen better, know better, do better, get money, stack cheddar, keep my fucking hand on their neck, boy, and never let up. Tryna get that shit that weather the weather. Tryna celebrate like my son and daughter's birthday in September. Shit that I remember just a year ago, but here I go. Tryna flipping on some other shit. Kinda stay positive in the world of negative. Can I live? Can I breathe up on my microphone? Invest up in myself. Now I put myself up on the shelf. Yo, what did I say?
All right.
But you ain't feeling me. Shit, I'm stinging these niggas just like a killer.
That was Notice by my boy Flame Stick Productions. Yes. How y'all feel about it, gentlemen? How y'all feel about it?
You know, this is, you know, I'm gonna ask you this question, and it's not me judging anything like this, because I can tell, you know, you got a different style. When people send in submissions, can you ask them to maybe give you a small description of what it is that they're doing? Because as an advisor, when I was with Dynamic Producer, and Flame will tell you this, I want to know who you are, because you may have some style of music that I may not have listened to or I might not vibe to. And it's nothing wrong with that, but I like to educate myself on what you're sending to me, because you just can't send anything to everybody. So let me just give you something before I tell you about that track that I just listened to. What if I told you every city you send is going to want the music from another city? So if you live in Atlanta, everybody's not going to be looking for Atlanta music. They're going to be looking for music from New York and LA. If you in LA, they're going to be looking for music from Atlanta and New York. If you're in New York, they're going to be looking for Atlanta and LA. Sounds crazy, right?
No, you're totally right. I've seen that before. Like, you're right. Yeah.
Each city is, when you're local, they're going to think it's a local sound. So they're not going to pay attention to a lot of what's there because they hear it all the time. So that's why they'll hear somebody from another area go, oh man, they hot to the mud. You know, and that's what it is. So a lot of times I'll be wanting to know, when I'm hearing somebody's vibe, I want to know, okay, where they coming from? Is that the style from that area? So I'm listening to it. I could hear he's got something different. But I wasn't really sure what it was.
When I did put out the thing, I did put in the description, I need the name of the artist, the name of the song, and the city representation. I did.
Okay.
Yeah, and I did.
Okay.
I did that.
Got you.
Yes.
See, right there, that's also some things that people do in this game too, is they're so excited to send stuff that they may not look at the rules or the descriptions of when you're sending stuff in. You know, that's what messes people up with music supervisors. That messes people up in the game. You know, they're so busy trying to send tracks and flood somebody's email, they're not paying attention to how to send it, whether it's unsolicited. You know, did that person ask for? What did they ask for specifically? You know, I've seen people get turned down for opportunity. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a quick story just to show you where I'm going with this. I was at South by Southwest, and I was in a room where the lady, she was the music supervisor for DreamWorks, and this was right after they had just got done doing what was that, Despicable Me, and they were getting ready to go do Despicable Me 2, and she was talking about how, you know, she was looking for music, and everybody's running up to her, right? You know, talking about, I got the perfect track. So I got in line, and I went to the very back of the line, and I just listened to everything the people said to her, and I could see her shoulders dropping. And because I could tell they wasn't asking the right questions. And when I came up there, I said, you worked on Despicable Me? She goes, yeah. I said, didn't Pharrell have that whole album, that whole soundtrack? She goes, yeah. I said, what's the next thing that you're working on? And what don't you have, and what do you need? She says, you know what? You asked the right questions. We're about to do this thing called Aliens versus Monsters, and we need tracks. I said, I got you covered.
All right, y'all. So how did you feel about the track, Jeff?
I felt it was cool. I don't really understand where it's going with it, but it was cool. Like I said, I'm not going to knock anybody's vibe. You know, sometimes I just need to understand the vibe. So, but it sounded good. It sounded good, but it didn't move me in that instance.
Well, I try to encourage everybody. We don't do like genre nights or like anything like that. I try to encourage us to like send in a little bit of everything. Like if somebody send in some, I'm not gonna lie, if they send in some heavy metal, I'm gonna have to listen to it, but I'm not gonna like it.
Well, I mean, the thing is, like I said, when it came to Dynamic Producer, I was listening to so much music that I almost got to be fatigued. So I always kind of Flash will tell you, I'm like, all right, yo, I need them kicks. I try not to. That's why that you're asking me. I'm saying, please don't make me go into my dynamic producer. Well, just let me just go. It's okay. It's okay. It's nice because I don't want to be sitting here going, man. Okay, so the mix and the arrangement and the song. I want to do that tonight. Don't do that to me, man. I just want to come in here and just laugh and just jiggy with y'all.
Nope, you got to get a review, Jeff. You ain't got to get deep into it. Be like, yeah, it was cool, or no, I didn't like it, or be like, you know what I'm saying? It was a good melody. You know, just a brief one, not your dynamic producer. Like every producer really want to do it. Be like, bro, you should have did this. You should have panned them to the left. That's what you should. Like we all really want to do. You know what I mean? But
yeah. I mean, like I said though, it just sometimes it does help me understanding because I've heard some stuff that really have blown my mind. Like I had a friend of mine just get me hip to Turkish soul music, which changed my life. Yeah. Right. If you ever look up Turkish soul music, it's music from Turkey. It's music from Turkey. They playing those instruments, but it sounds like they playing it in the style of James Brown and Parliament Funkadelic. It's ridiculous.
Hold on, what's it called?
Turkish soul music.
Turkish soul music. Where my pen at? Because me myself, I'm a sample-based producer, and that sounds like something I can sample.
Dude, it's raw. It's raw.
So yeah, after what you just said there, Ray, Jeff, man, why don't you tell me what do you think the difference is between a beat maker and a producer? That's a big question that I see a lot of producers talking about online and social media.
Well, everybody's a beat maker. Let me put it that way. What I mean by that is if you got a drum machine and something like this and you're making beats, everybody's a beat maker. But a producer, you got to look outside the box because that line and that information has gotten so blown out of proportion because of a term called MIDI. When MIDI came into place, MIDI changed the whole ball game because before you had to bring in all types of session players. You know, you had to bring in, choirs. You had to bring in stuff. That's why you got somebody like a Quincy Jones. He plays horn, but he's one of the baddest producers in the planet. You know what I mean? But he's not sitting back behind an MPC. You know what I'm saying? But he's still one of the greatest producers ever. So a producer is a person that's going to see the whole thing from beginning to end. And he's going to utilize all different types of portions of people within that. He's going to use his arrangers to make sure that the arrangement and everything is in the right place. He's going to use his songwriters that are writing the words and the melodies and everything in the right place. He's going to know who the best person is, to make things and where to put it. And he's going to use his engineer, who's now going to be his eyes and ears, going to be like on the Starship Enterprise. It's going to be pushing all the buttons, but he's going to be commanding all the things because he has to see that from the beginning of how it starts to the finished song. That's a producer. A beat maker can be anybody that's working on a track that's coming up with the ideas and the concepts, but that person can also be a producer, long as they followed all the way through. That's the catch.
Right. All right. Rain, we got any more beat submissions?
For sure. I got the T-Lock beat submission pulled up. Go ahead and pull that up.
And do me a favor, while you play this song, Rain, check your inbox real quick, brother.
Yes, sir. All right, we got a beat by my boy T-Lock. We got a song from my boy T-Lock right out of South Bend, Indiana. Let's get it.
T-Loc, let's go.
Whenever it play.
T-Loc. Resting that shit. Yeah.
See. 90.
Yeah. I'm the ghetto visioneer on my mama, I'm the prospect. I always keep it real, keep me clear from the nonsense. Avoid me with the problems, cause I'm the type to solve them. The hollow point, trigger finger, Smith and Wesson caught them. Red light, start the whip and let me pour up. Free my cutty out the bricks, damn know where he grew up. Seven fingers left and right until that sun came up. Girls, get it how you can, we just tryna get bucks. We just tryna get paid, started giving me face. Got me lean back in my seat like I'm about to be safe. Yeah, just tell me what you want, I don't do no charades. Like just tell me what you want, I don't do no charades. I mask on, what the fuck is the point? I ain't tryna roll a willow, mama hand me the joint. Always been the problem, tryna take me to court. They said 25 years, had I pulled it, it's court. They said 25 years, had I pulled it, it's court. Only God can judge me now, all I fear is the Lord. But I still keep my iron, they won't make me a point. Yeah, I still keep my iron, they won't make me a point. Like ghetto visioneer on my mama, I'm the prospect. I always keep it real, keep me clear from the nonsense. Avoid me with the problems, cause I'm the type to solve them. The hollow point, trigger finger, Smith and Wesson caught them. Red light, start the whip and let me pour up. Till I cut it out the bricks, didn't know where he grew up. Fingers left and right until that sun came up. Words, get it how you can, we just tryna get bucks. We just tryna get paid, started giving me face. Got me lean back in my seat like I'm
visionary. But my boy T-Lock, how y'all feel about it, gentlemen? How y'all feel about it? How y'all feel about it? How y'all feel about it?
Man, that track, I definitely got a good feel. I kind of got like a Drake feel out of that song. His vocals were coming in clear. I definitely like the low BPM. The beat was definitely on point for that track. And like Jeff was saying before we played the track, man, it definitely would help if the artist would send in a little bio about the song, what type of message they're trying to send out, because it definitely is going to help us as producers and artists to give feedback on that song, just like Jeff said, man, for real.
Yeah, that one was actually a little bit more clear in its sound, where you were able to hear it a little bit better. And it's funny because as I was listening to it, the beat, not knocking the beat, but it reminded me of probably one of my favorite songs that my boy Willpower did for Yellow Wolf, Pop the Trunk. And I was listening to that drums, I was like, that kind of had that Pop the Trunk kind of feel to it. Okay. I was like, but I like it though.
All right. So Jeff, growing up in music and stuff, I'm pretty sure you got kids, right?
Yes.
All right, so I'm pretty sure it was kind of hard being, would you say, a DJ or producer? You're an advisor. How did you try to manage family life with music life?
Oh, that's hilarious because my kids are probably colder than me. They play guitar, and one plays piano, sings in the choir, plays a flute, and is a drama major out there and is getting a master's degree in Vegas right now. So I would say didn't have a problem. They just sat in the corner and was like, what is it my turn to get on the keyboard? You know, it's like it wasn't that hard because me and their mother, we was, you know, we're not together now, but at that time, you know, we were on the same page. You know what I mean? It was just we were on the same page when it came to things. So that's the key. You know, like in this business, you both have to be on the same page, and you also got to be to balance. What do we do this for? We do this for our family. You know what I mean? You don't really just do this and just ignore the family. You know, sometimes your family is they're the energy in what you do. You know what I mean? So that's the best way to say it. It shouldn't be the excuse not to work, but the excuse to work. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times so many people think that we get selfish and just push our kids into the other room. You know, when that kid's coming in and wanting to know, well, what does this button do? I'm like, come here, let me show you. You know, what is it? Like, look, Flash got all them daggone NPCs. Well, I know good and well he can bring his kids in by the time the night's over, they'd have made some cold beats.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes, like just yesterday, I got my daughter for the summer, so she was in there. She was out there just rapping about who knows what. I was like, "Well, girl, you better go come in here. Let's record something." She's like, "No, I don't want to do it." She got real shy then. I don't want to do it.
No, no, I get it though. I definitely get it.
All right, Flash, you got any other questions for my man Jeff?
Yeah. So, Jeff, man, you, I can't really say what year you grew up in. Like, you grew up in the 60s or the 70s? 70s. All right. So, going from the 70s to the 80s and 90s, who are some of the producers that you were really paying attention to in the hip hop industry, like such as maybe DJ Premier, Alchemist, Dre, so on and so forth?
Well, I'm gonna say this right off the rip, and this is gonna show my age like a mug. But the coldest producer that I was coming up when I was coming up, I would say I really didn't start paying attention until the '80s, and that was Larry Smith. Larry Smith,
Okay.
that's the guy that was behind Run DMC. That was the guy that was behind Houdini. All those albums that put them on the map, he was the mastermind behind those beats. And it's just like to hear somebody that cold was like unreal. And it was like the next wave after him was Teddy Riley. Because when Teddy came out, doing
Yeah.
that stuff with Dougie Fresh now, when they started doing the show, and then he started doing the stuff with Cool Mo D, like Go See the Doctor and all that kind of stuff. We started paying attention, and then it became the legends. Guys like Herbie Lovebug. You got Marley Marl. Then you start getting into one of my favorite teams, which was the Bomb Squad. I love the Bomb Squad. I thought they was insane, man. The beats they used to make. You know what I mean? But then, of course, you got people like, of course, you got Dre, you got your Amp Banks, you got your Premiers. I listened to everybody. And then, of course, the guy who I felt changed the whole sound when everybody went one way was RZA. When RZA came out,
I love RZA, bro. I love RZA.
Yeah, man.
I love RZA. That's one of my favorites, bro.
Matter of fact, I know you guys watched that TV series, that Wu-Tang TV series. They were showing how he was sampling and everything was in different places.
And the way he tried to steal the MPC. He looked at it, dude was like, "Don't do it, don't do it."
Right. RZA is also one of the main reasons why I'm a big fan of Afro Samurai. You already know he produced all the beats that was on Afro Samurai.
Look,
you know what I'm saying?
He did Kill Bill. Come on, stop it.
And Kill Bill. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. So yeah, but now let me flip that on the other side. Now that was producers down on this side, but let me go to who some of my all-time favorite producers are. And the ones I'm about to say are going to throw you for a loop. John Williams.
All right.
John Williams is one of my favorite producers, but he's one of the best composers in the world.
Right.
You got somebody like you got Prince.
I love
Unreal.
Prince. I love
Terry Lewis, Terry Lewis and Jimmy Jam. Foster McElroy. Okay. I love them guys. You know what I'm saying? There would be no In Vogue if it wouldn't be for them. Of course, like I said, Teddy Riley. Then you got people like oh man, what's my man's name? I can't believe I'm going blank on his name right now. I already said Quincy Jones. There's a couple of other ones that I'm thinking of right now, but there's a lot of really dope producers that I feel just don't. Tom Bell. Tom Bell. Look at all the stuff he did with the Jackson 5 and the Silvers. Gramble and Huff. Come on now. Them guys put Motown. They put Motown in a chokehold. You know what I'm saying? Motown couldn't even keep up with Gramble and Huff. You know what I'm saying? Look at all that stuff they did for the OJs. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna talk about Leon Silvers. Come on now, Leon Silvers. He put Solar Records on the map. So it's just a lot of really dope producers and songwriters and composers that I really, really love.
Right, yeah. That's what C was saying. C in the comments, he was like, yep. He was like, Prince, great composer. Teddy Riley, even greater composer, you know what I mean? So he was like, definitely all great composers. Definitely all great composers.
So I got one more question for you, Jeff, real quick, before we jump into some more submissions. So coming from like me and you, I was born in the 80s. So coming from our time back in, the way hip hop was back then to the way it is now, do you feel like that we can even say that hip hop even exists anymore? I mean, how the way these rappers are coming out with these new styles of music?
Well, you have to look at it like this. Um, and it's funny you say that because I was looking at something the other day and I had to catch myself. I was watching some kids doing breakdancing. And, I grew up, of course, with the, New York style and the LA styles and, whether it be the boogaloo over here or the floor rocking or different things on this side, because I know there were two different vibes. And I look at the way people do stuff now and I'm like, that's kind of wild. I'm like, I don't even really consider that dancing, but I can't say that because it's a different generation. So I would say just like when people want to say who's the GOAT in football, baseball, basketball, boxing, wrestling, you can't really say that because every generation has its own thing. So the hip hop that's now is of a different generation. You know what I mean? Because when we were coming up, people were looking at us crazy, but we also were looking back at other stuff. The thing that I think that messes up a lot of the hip hop now is they don't look back enough to understand. That's where I think a lot of times they don't. There are some that do. Like a Jochi. You know what I mean? When you look at somebody like that, you're like, okay,
I love Dochi, bro.
Skills. You know what I mean? But
right.
So that's where you get that thin line of people not paying attention. So I would say, but it's always been that way. You've always had those that really get down and follow a certain thing, but you can't say that it's not hip hop. It's just of a different generation and a different vibe. I don't rock with a lot of what is going on right now, but there's still stuff that I still rock with that's still out there. You know what I mean? So it's just a different time. So you have to look at it from that point of view.
Right. All right. Well, we only got a couple more minutes left in the segment. Flash done pulled up a video he wanted us to play real fast of an artist he working with named Jiggy Jada, which they actually did a real dope boom bap hip hop collaboration together. I thought it was dope. Anyway, let me go ahead and find the screen. It took me about. Let's go ahead and play this for y'all.
Yeah, man. Let's go. We live.
That's DJ H-Stone. We can't do that. It's not a like fucking head again.
This is Jiggy Jada. Jiggy Jada. Talk to him.
Don't ever go over like fucking head again. Put your hands in the air. You got hip hop. This is a free show for the real people who know hip hop.
Hey hip hop, it's for hip hop kids. Long as our heart beat, hip hop lives. Take a look at what hip hop did. Everybody in the world on some hip hop shit. Put your pain in the music and make that thing fly. I put my pain in my music, this ain't no game, huh? If I get famous for music, I pray I change mine. Cause these the same times, I truly can't lie. If it wasn't for music, who would listen to me? Used to break my feelings till it's beating the beat. Put the shit on repeat, continually. Nasty guys be a max, father figures to me. Not literally, of course figuratively. As a kid, felt like the world shitted on me. Think back on the days of Onyx. Hit a doggy style, blazing chronic. Real rap, I don't play about it. Little niggas need to pay some homage. Either stop clout chasing, following. Got that for acknowledgement. I see I acknowledged it. You fake MCs, who she got a problem with. And fake gatekeepers. Y'all fuck the game up. Blackboard the talent, so fuck the famous. You know the famous gets contagious when they switch up. Flip the pages. It's for the concept. Support the real ones.
Show love, y'all.
It's for the culture. It's for the culture. Support the real ones. We know the vultures. Y'all hear me?
Y'all hear?
Hey hip hop. This for hip hop.
All right. Hey hip hop. Oh, my girl Jada. How y'all feel about it?
I seen that video somewhere. That's tight, man. I like her. That's dope.
Yeah, I like her a lot too. She definitely a dope ass artist. Dope. Hella lots of energy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you can feel it.
She speaks with passion. We had her on the show. I think might have been episode 4 or 5. We had her on the show, and dope energy. You know what I'm saying? Very passionate about this music thing that we do, and it shows in her music.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Jiggy Jada. You know, she's gonna be performing. Make sure everybody, man, y'all go check her out. If you're in the New York area, go check her out, man. This coming Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. She's gonna be performing that song at 778 Albany, New York at Switch the Verse. She's actually gonna be going up for an award for this song. And you already know, man. Shout out to Jiggy Jada, man.
Word. All right, we got some comments. Jeremiah said she actually Jeremiah said that she actually has a music video to this. We should have played the music. We should have played the music video.
That live version was good though.
Yeah, Daryl said he loved her energy. Her energy was dope. You know what I mean? So it's always good to have feedback from the chat for sure. All right. Oh, we actually have met our hour. Y'all. Boy, Jeff, you done told us all the stories. You done told us all the gems. You done told us all the secrets. Only thing you ain't told us about that bid you did, but
and was that when we check it out? No, anyway. No, that's funny, hilarious.
Yeah.
No, I saw my brother, my brother Drug Beats was in there, and he's also on my Facebook page. He was putting down Rob Tipperton and somebody else he was saying, some really dope composers, you know. So it's funny, man. Like I said, all these dope people that's out there that we grew up on that really pushed a lot of us to be where we're at right now. So I'm appreciative of that. So, but I did like that last one you just played.
Okay. All right, Jeff. Since we're at the end of the show, man, we love having you on. It was a great time. Let everyone know, what can we see next from Mr. Jeff Blacktracks?
Oh, it's interesting, man. Right now, like I said, you know, with Dynamic Producer being gone, I've been working on a new organization called Big Sound Design. That's my company, and Big, the acronym is for Blackwell International Group, which is something I want to leave for my kids, because that's my parent company. You know, you want to leave an organization, leave things for the next generation, you know, to take over. So that's the things I'm doing for TV and film. I'm working on some things right now in the background. I'm gonna do probably one last Beat Royale. I've been talking about it forever. You know, I'm gonna do that. Pop my collar, Beat Royale back down in Atlanta with all the family. Have everybody come down and just do it one last time. I'm gonna try my best not to cry, because you know it's gonna get emotional. Because it's gonna be like Arsenio Hall signing off. I'll be like, yeah, man, but then,
yeah, man, Jeff, man, be sure you let me know when that event's going down, man, because I'm definitely gonna probably, you know, either fly out there or drive out there for that event, and I'm definitely gonna be there showcasing some of my heat.
I also got one more thing that I'm gonna work on too, and this is gonna be a little something different. I'm working with a couple of other promoters to do one last thing too in Atlanta. We're gonna do a picnic for all the producers, songwriters, and artists that have always rocked with us, and just make it one big family reunion where you come, bring your kids, bring your water guns. You know, we're gonna have all the food, you know, vegetarian, you know, meats, all that kind of stuff. Play everybody's music and just have a good time. And like I said, the only friends I have is in this industry. So let's just go ahead and have this one big family reunion. We all getting older. We got kids now, you know what I'm saying? Let's just bring that family back together, not lose it. Because after the pandemic, I felt we all kind of lost a lot of the unity that we had. It's time to bring all that back in.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
So Jeff, excuse me, but you said you grew up in Cincinnati, so you weren't born and grew up in Atlanta then, because I was born in Atlanta.
You said
Georgia,
you're running out of time. So you're running out of time. See, so let me break it down to you. See, I'm what you call how can I describe it? I got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. So I originally moved to Atlanta in 1985. You know what I mean? I grew up down.
That was 3 years after I was. That was 3 years after I was born. I was born in Atlanta, Georgia, Fulton County, in '81. In '81. So 3 years later, you moved there. That's
Yeah, I moved there
crazy.
from Cincinnati. I grew up there. I graduated in '88. I moved back to Ohio in '90, and I stayed up there. And then I moved back to Atlanta in 2014. And then I just moved back up here about 7 months ago.
Yeah, my boy Jeremiah said he from Cincinnati. Shout out to Cincinnati.
You know what I'm saying? So I got so my pipeline between Atlanta and Cincinnati is both cities are always going to be a part of me. I was born and raised in Cincinnati, but I was raised and born in Atlanta. You understand what I mean by that?
I exactly feel what you're saying, because I feel the same way about Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
I feel the same way.
So both places, I'm never gonna not be a part of both places. That's just the way it is. Right. You know, I'm always gonna have my network and things I do in Atlanta. I always gonna have my stuff I do here in Cincinnati.
You're not gonna mention Atlanta without mentioning Cincinnati.
That's what I'm saying. I'm that biracial kid. You know what I'm saying? Both cities is my home. You know, one's my hometown, the other's my home.
Right. Heard.
All right. So real quick, Jeff, before we end the stream, man, why don't you let everybody know one more time where they can find Jeff Blacktracks on all social media platforms?
I'm probably the easiest to find, Jeff Blacktracks, and the Black is Blactracks. I took the K out. I'm gonna take a quick little story before we get up off here. But Blacktracks is a limited edition transformer that looks just like Optimus Prime, and I didn't want to get sued for having the name with the K in it, so I took the K out. That's because I didn't need them coming after me like they did Luke Skywalker. So I just wanted to have no problems. So anyway, but you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, with all these other things that are out there, whatever social media. Yeah, I'm on Threads. I'm on everything on the Blacktracks, so it's real easy to find me.
All right. So y'all heard it here, folks, man. Go add my man Jeff Blacktracks on all social media platforms. You know what I'm saying? Go out and network, y'all. This is a real good episode that let y'all know that networking is a thing, y'all. Y'all have to network. If you're not networking, what are you doing? Because if you're not letting somebody know what you're doing, don't nobody know what y'all doing by just sitting in the house.
Right.
But we don't know what y'all doing.
Well, there's a term we always told everybody: your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't matter who you know. It doesn't matter who you know, but who knows you.
There you go. Y'all heard it here on BeatBoys TV. Thank you, Jeff, for stopping by, man. We had a great hour with you, man. You dropped some gems, man. We definitely gonna take what you said and hold it close and use that shit. You know what I'm saying? We definitely got to.
Y'all have a good one. Let me know when y'all want a brother to return, because I know y'all still got some other questions. Y'all gonna be like, yo, man, we got to get you back in for part 2. So I'm down, man. So
for sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, everybody gonna be like, y'all gotta get Mr. Jeff back on. He dropped them gems. We want to know everything. Don't be no gatekeeper, Mr. Jeff. Let us know. Don't be one of them gatekeepers.
I hear you, man. Well, it was good. It was good being on. I appreciate you, brothers.
Yes, sir. All right. Salute, sir. Man. You have a good one.
All right, salute, man. Y'all have a good one.
Yes, sir. All right, Flash. You know what I'm saying? We done did it again. Another episode in the books, man.
Another one.
As y'all folks said in Florida, another one. God damn it. So, you know what I'm saying? Next episode, y'all, I got my man. I got my boys, motherfucking South Bay, Indiana, man. I got my boy Tilly Beats and T-Lock, man. Can't wait to have y'all on, bro. Y'all know what it is, man. So tune in. Next Saturday, 12:30 p.m. Y'all know what it is, the BeatBoys.
Yes, sir. Make sure y'all submit your tracks to artists, producers, even DJs to BeatBoys with a Z TV at gmail.com. You already know what it is. We appreciate every single one of y'all that come and show love to the team. You already know what it is.
You already know what it is. Make sure y'all submit those tracks, like bro said, to BeatBoys. That's BeatBoys with a damn Z, goddammit. beatboys.tv@gmail.com. Again, that's beatboys.tv@gmail.com. That's beatboys with a motherfucking Z. Y'all know what it is. Your boy FDE Rain.
The Flash from the Flame.
And we out, boys. Peace.
Peace.